Hey folks, Chad with BooneDOX. Got a 2016 Hobie Pro Angler 14. We'll be installing our BooneDOX landing gear. Before today, the only place to do so is toward the stern of the kayak. And some of the folks were saying I can't access my gear as well, and the boat seems extra heavy by having the wheel so far back. So we decided to come out with the LG Pro kit, which is going to enable us to use a wider bar and install the landing gear right behind the seat, so the gear is more accessible and the weight distribution is a little bit easier, so you can pull the kayak without having to carry much of the weight. So when you open up your landing gear box, you got two wheels, a couple different sizes of bars, instructions, part list, everything you would need to install the landing gear on pretty much any kayak, including this one. But what we came out with the LG Pro is basically a longer bar and some spacers. We'll show you how all that goes together. The tools you'll need is a drill, 3/8 drill bit, a ratchet with a 1/2 inch socket, Sharpie or marker, Allen wrenches, and a tape measure. So when you get this PA, basically what you've got is a paddle clip, and you can move it to different places. It'll be in my way right here, so I'm going to swap out with this pad eye. You'll see why in just a minute. Okay, so we've measured and we know the width we're looking for is 36 inches. So turning these slots toward the outside, we're going to install our longer LG bar. And what we're going to do is to utilize these set screws to bind into the orange bar on both pieces, and to hold 36 inches right here. So I've backed this screw completely out, so you can see what we're looking to do is have the orange bar to go past this screw hole enough to where we're completely biting into the crossbar. Tape measure. We got 36 inches. Okay, so this bar is going to be in our way for drilling the holes, so we will loosen this guy, the Allen wrench. The bolt out of the way, slide it right off. We'll get back to that later. So this bar has some flexibility here. We're going to have to pull this away to do our marking and drilling. Now the other side. So a big part of what makes the landing gear so strong is this backing plate. 3/8 by 1 solid stainless. Got 5/16/18 threads. So we're going to use this to locate our holes and get ready to drill here in just a second. Front to back, I'm going to line up the front edge of our backing plate with this front edge right here. So we don't have a lot of room in this cavity right here, so we need to pay attention to the curvature of the boat. We'll get our alignment and get our first hole marked, and second hole marked, and then we're going to drill. So it looks like my front edge is in line there. Go ahead and mark. My back edge is in line with the curvature of the boat. We'll mark there too. So there's our marks. And that's where we will drill. 3/8 drill bit. I'm going to pry this bar back just a little bit. It may be a good idea to take this up so you don't scratch your bar there. As you can see, this is a good place to mount because the plastic is so thick. Let's go ahead and drill the other hole. So again, I'm going to pry this bar back a little bit, drill first hole. And the second hole. The bolts we're going to be using are 5/16. This is a 3/8 drill bit, so try to do the best you can, but you will have some room for error. Okay, so we have our pre-assembly laid up here. The holes look good. Now we come to the trickier part. For me, short arms just kind of makes it difficult to access where the backing plate needs to go. So I've got just a solid core wire here, and I can almost reach it but can't quite. Some of you guys may be able to do this without this part, but all I'm going to do is just to put a little curve, bend into the wire, start fishing in from the front hole and feeding it back. And then we'll grab the wire here. We'll feed it through either of the holes. Just going to give a good solid twist, kind of mash it up good. So I'm going to be pulling on that pretty hard. Alright, so I'm going to lay this way. And we'll pull this up like that. And as you can see, by looking in this hole here, I've got my threads. So I'm going to grab the bolt and go ahead and bolt that side down. So I've got my washer and my 1-inch bolt here. Got my hole aligned with the threads, which is a little tricky, but with a good strong enough wire you can kind of move it around to where you can do that. So I'm just going to tighten it pretty tight. We're going to get my ratchet. Alright, so with it in position, we'll go ahead and tighten it up. Alright, so I don't have it really tight, but I've got it tight enough where I feel like I can go ahead and get this wire out of the way. So I'm going to bend it this way and start feeding it in, allowing that bend to go toward the stern of the kayak. And like I said before, I can almost reach all the way up here, so it's not like I have to go very far. Just far enough for me to reach this side and pull it back out. Okay, the wire's out of the way. Got my next washer and bolt, and because this is so tight in here, the backing plate doesn't have a whole lot of room to move, but getting it aligned perfectly may be a little bit of a challenge. So I got it now. Hold this bar out of my way. Make sure not to cross thread this. Once you got it started, I'm not going to take it completely down all the way, so I have some flexibility to do the other side. So again, it's pretty crucial that you bend this, get it started going the right direction. There is a piece of foam down there that you want to make sure you don't get hooked into. That works pretty good. And again, I will be sliding it through one side. So I've got it bent, laying flat like this, and keep it down and pull. Yeah. So with bolt and washer in hand, we've got it aligned here. Alright, so I still have it, that little loop on the back side of the thread. We'll give it one quick yank. Alright, so I'm going to use a smaller Allen wrench and move the hole into position, the threaded hole, and run the last bolt in here. So get it started good. So now I'm going back and tightening all 4 bolts. So I will replace this bar support piece, the same hole as it came. Being very careful not to cross thread that guy. We use this poly spacer. Go ahead and get it started like that. Slide it on. Okay, same thing. Got my spacer. So to be honest with you, I'm pretty excited about the way this turned out. With the landing gear up front like this, it's right behind my seat. I can access the gear much better. The landing gear is pretty versatile to work with all the great products that are out there. Between Ram and Yak Attack and several of the others. The gear accessory world is just blossomed. There's all kinds of options out there. Most of which are either going to clamp onto a rail like this Tough Ball, or any of the Yak Attack stuff is all using this T-bolt design. Great design, highly recommended. So by moving the wheels further forward like this, we move the leverage point from way back here further forward, so the user's not carrying near the amount of weight they were. Let's check it out. So it is a big difference from where it was located before. Very stable, very strong. Hope this installation helps you guys out. Let's check it out. Well, that's a wrap. If you want to check out the landing gear, go to BooneDOX.com or your local kayak dealer.